Good evening. It is Friday, and yes, I am late. It's 7:35. Ooh, 7:36. So I am a little late tonight. My apologies to anyone who is here on the dot at 7:30, but I'm hoping that you guys, as you pop on, are going to say hi. And as always, if you haven't watched my live videos before, let me know where you are. I love finding out where everybody is, wherever it might be in the world. And we've had some really interesting locations that people are located. So please pop on and say hello. All right. It hasn't popped up yet as live. Good morning, good evening, Deb. Hello. Hi, Kay. We've only got a couple of you here so far. So, oh, it says 6, but only 2 people have said hello. So when you are here, please say hi. Hey, Deb. Hi, howdy to you too. Hey, Sue. Did you have a nice week, Sue? Hey, Nadia. Hello. Hi, Michelle. It's becoming a habit, guys, this Friday night thing. I'm trying to be consistent. Hey, Donna. Nice to see you. Do you still have your Maui glasses on? I meant to comment earlier. You looked very resplendent in your purple sunglasses. Were they flamingos? I think they were. So, for anyone who doesn't know, this is the week that I should have been in Maui. And earlier today I was wearing a flower, like a lei, but around my head, like a flower crown. Because we were having a little virtual party to celebrate our achieving the trip, even if we can't be there. So it's all a bit sad, really. Flamingos, yes, there you go. Hey, Beryl, how you going? Nice to see you. Okay, as people are popping on, I'm just going to double check that I can see this on my page. Let's make sure it's showing up here. I'm just going to refresh, make sure it works. Okay, yep, there it is. So I'm turning off the sound so I don't compete with myself. And let's make it big so I can see your comments. Awesome. Okay. So I hope everyone has had a great week wherever you are, whatever you've been doing. I'd love to hear about it if you have a moment, because whatever you've been doing is important to you if you've been doing it. So I'm happy to chat about almost anything as I'm creating tonight. And I am going to be working with something tonight that I have shown you before, but I love it so much. I thought, well, we'll show it again and I'll just make completely different stuff this time. So simple things. And then later on, if I get a chance, I may go over to my VIP group. And for anyone who wants to follow me over there, and we'll have a little chat about that as well. Hey, Kim, nice to see you. If I've missed anyone, my apologies. I hope I haven't. Have I missed anybody? Ooh. No. Oh, yes, you have a nice big palm tree there. Thank you for me. One of the girls on the video today had a blow-up palm tree in the background. I thought that was pretty impressive. And Donna, who's here, I was just saying before, she had purple flamingo sunglasses, which I was very impressed with. So that's pretty cool. All right. Shall we turn the camera around and get started? Let's do it. Let's Friday night create. All right. I'm going to swing it around, so give me a second while I do that. All right. Yep, we're going to play with the artistically inked stuff. I'm going to show you the suite because it's so beautiful. In particular, I wanted to focus on the paper because the paper is absolutely divine, and I really, really want to showcase that because it's so beautiful. So, if you haven't, oops, sorry, getting myself organized, tighten it up. And there we go. Can everyone see my desk okay? Everyone all right with that? All right. So let's turn to our catalogue. This is the new catalogue. This one's only been out a couple of weeks, and it's been getting a pretty good run. I notice quite a few people have got bits and pieces out of this already, and there's lots and lots of stuff online. But the set that I wanted to use today, it's called Expressions in Ink, the whole suite, and it's actually what's featured on the cover. So it makes it pretty easy to talk about it when it's right there front and center on the cover. I think it's beautiful. I think they were very fitting for the event too, Donna. I wish I'd had anything quite as cool as that, but I didn't. I had a flower headband, like a flower crown, I also had a little frangipani for my ear, but I thought that was a bit of overkill, both the flower crown and the frangipani, although, you know, can you really have overkill on something like that? And then I had little umbrellas for my drinks. So, you know, although I have, somebody told me the other day that umbrellas are probably not environmentally, little drink umbrellas are probably not very environmentally friendly, and I didn't really think about that before I bought them. But they were, look, I'll show you. These kind, they're only a couple of dollars, and you know, they're very cute. So for anyone who doesn't know, one of the things that we get to do as demonstrators is work towards an incentive trip each year, and this year and last year the trip was meant to be Maui. The destination was Maui, and of course, being in Australia, we can't fly anywhere. There's my cute little umbrellas, aren't they gorgeous? I love them. So they're very cute in my drink today. So for anyone who doesn't know, this is something that we get to do, and you work really hard for the trips, and I'm supported by my beautiful customers and fabulous team, and I'm so grateful. Even though we didn't get to go, it's still a real achievement to earn it, and I just am so grateful to all of you for supporting my little business and keeping things ticking along, which is just so amazing. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is some beautiful, beautiful samples here on page 96 of the catalogue, if you happen to get a chance to look. I think one of the dies, let me show it to you. One of the dies, so this is the die set that matches the stamp set. Oh, let me open it. Oh, there we go. I've actually taken a die out. But this is one here. And this one, it's got like a natural curve, so it makes it perfect for putting together like wreaths and things like that. So you can see a nice example of that here. And it's got some stamps and some other little bits and pieces there as well. We've also got a thing called an ephemera pack. I love the word ephemera. I don't know why. Does anyone else think that sounds really, really cool? And my ephemera pack, I'd like to show it to you, but my ephemera pack is a bit of a mess because I have opened it up and taken bits out and used it all over the place. So there's a whole bunch of sheets of the gold. So there's like gold pieces that, you know, there's little leaves and little labels and all sorts of cute little things in gold. I think there's, I'm trying to remember, I think there's maybe 5 or 6 sheets of that. I should know the answer to that, and it's in our catalogue, so I'll have a look if I remember to. But yeah, those are really, really cute. And there's also, as part of the ephemera pack, a little pack of like iridescent sequins, and they're adhesive, so they're already self-adhesive on the back. Really, really cute, and they look really great as well. I didn't bring those over, but they're really nice. I've been using them quite a bit. I don't think I brought them over. Pretty sure I didn't. But I've shown you the stamp set, kind of. The last video I did, we played around with this sort of big blobby alcohol ink look stamp, and we played with the rose, and we played with the sentiments, but also the leaves. But for me, the star of the show, of this whole thing, is the DSP. The paper is absolutely divine, and if you don't have it yet, definitely add it to your wish list. It is just so beautiful, so gorgeous. Hi Elizabeth, nice to see you there. So yeah, I just love this paper, and I'm going to bring it in. I have my one I've already opened is all chopped up to pieces, and I've used it for all kinds of things. But I'm just going to open a fresh pack here today, and I'm just going to show you how lovely this is. So the paper kind of is a bit different to what I've seen Stampin' Up do before. We've got this kind of alcohol ink look. Okay, so it looks kind of like alcohol ink on Yupo paper, that kind of thing. And they've carried that through. So, I mean, it's across almost, some of the flowers look like they might be watercolored, but definitely you've got the alcohol ink look going through just about everything. This lovely, like, different, what would you say? Different grades of color. Just gorgeous. And as you can see, I hope you can see it in the light here, it's got this beautiful gold foil accents on it. So you've got leaves, and then the other side is the alcohol ink look again, but without the foil. So one side has the foil and the reverse side does not. This is, I love this piece of paper actually. It's really, really beautiful. And if you cut this straight down the middle, you could make a whole bunch of cards that have this alcohol ink edge coming over. And I did a card similar to that this week. Let me have a quick look. This one's actually a different sheet. It's got gold, but see what I mean about the alcohol ink coming from one side? I really rather liked that. And I thought that looked really nice. And I used that piece, that leaf die that I showed you before that curves around. I used half of it so that mine, they would go further. And you can see I've used the iridescent sequins on here as well. So I've used a few of those on some of my cards. But this is just a really simple card that I think lends itself really well to this kind of thing. So one side is foil, one side isn't. This is, I don't know, I haven't used this one very much, but it's absolutely stunning. Look at those, it looks like veins almost of gold going through. I just think that's lovely. Can you see the gold on that? Just beautiful. Hey there, Deb. We've got a couple of Debs here tonight. Nice to see you. And the other side then has just, it's actually, this one reminds me of this one a bit, similar because it's the same colours, but with more white. But this one doesn't have the gold pieces. So they are just so stunning. Love them. Put that back there. Then we've got, this one is polished pink, I believe is the colours. Let's have a quick look at that because it tells you in the catalogue, each paper has the underneath where it features the paper. Just kind of sticking to myself here. Move that. It tells me the colours. So it's polished pink, pale papaya, pear pizzazz, which is the lighter green, just jade, the medium, and shaded spruce, which is the darkest of the greens. These two, just jade and shaded spruce, are very blue-based greens, whereas the pear pizzazz has a little bit more yellow in it. It's sort of more probably to yellow than, certainly doesn't have a blue undertone. So if you're interested in colour theory at all, it's interesting how they've actually mixed these two. Sometimes when you choose blue-based greens and yellow-based greens together, they don't always work, but somehow this works. I don't know really how they did it, but like that piece I showed you a moment ago, see how it's got the blue-based greens over here, and then you've got your yellow-based green over here, so, and that looks fantastic. I don't know how they did that, but it just works. So, kind of nice. All right. The last colour in there is Evening Evergreen, which is another green. Okay, if you haven't seen Evening Evergreen, let me just see if I have it here. I think I have it right behind me on the table. So this is Evening Evergreen. This is the darkest green of our new in colours, this one. I like how they've done that in the catalogue too, Deb. I think it's a really nice way of seeing what colours are in paper, and it really helps you when you're planning your projects. I often look up to see, okay, what colours, you know, what colour cardstock and inks do I need to pull out to go with this paper? It makes it so easy. I really love that. So polished pink is the pink that we're using in this set, but the Evening Evergreen is the darkest green. And this one is, like I said, the new in colours. I don't remember ever having a dark green like this since I've been with Stampin' Up, and that's 15 years nearly. So I'm thinking the only one that was kind of close to it was Handsome Hunter, if anyone remembers that colour, blast from the past, many years ago. It's been gone for a long time. I don't think it was quite this dark though. So it's super dark, and in here it's so dark on this page it's almost difficult to tell that it's actually a green. So yeah, it's a really dark green, and I think it's going to make a great Christmas colour. It's going to be lovely with gold for Christmas. I just think it's beautiful. All right, then we have another alcohol ink kind of look, this time just with the pale papaya, another new in colour, and this one is just pale papaya and white, and I think that looks beautiful. But of course, if there's no foil on there, guess what? When we turn it over, that's where your foil is. So we've got some gold stripes, and they're kind of messy stripes, which I kind of like they've got rough edges and so forth. That looks really nice, doesn't it? Hey there, Vicky. Nice to see you. So that's this one. Moving on, the next one. Now this one is the only one that maybe I don't like this one as much. as some of the others. This is one, I always have one or two that I like less than the others, but it's still beautiful. There are things you can do if you don't like a particular design. One thing, of course, you can turn over and look to see if you prefer the design on the other side. That's the first thing. But if you were like, if you didn't like the other side and you wanted to use the green, I mean, there might be people out here there that love this, but there are some ways to minimize it if there's something like if paper is too loud or something about it that you don't love. Putting a little bit of vellum over the top, so putting like a vellum layer over the top of it tones it down and makes it, it looks really, really different. I might grab out some vellum and we'll see what it looks like on this, just to give you guys an indication. Another thing to do is to use it in small amounts. So just say I was going to use this on a card base. Let me just see. And then, oh, this is the wrong color. Let me find another one that's a better color. I was going to say, see, that's totally the wrong color, but I could put this on a card base and then you would only see a little bit of it around the sides, and that might make it a whole different, like that to me makes it very, very different, only being able to see small amounts of it. I just think for me, this one is too much in a like it's too much of a, what do we say? A little bit goes a long way. Does that make sense? That's what I'm trying to say. So there you go. Ah, there you go. Well, there's something to be explained. Thank you for that, Deb. I understand. So yeah, I like this one too. It's got the pale papaya, got the gold in the middle, and we've got pear pizzazz and a bit of evening evergreen around the edges of those leaves. Really, really nice. I prefer that side to this side. And then we have this one, which is similar to the other one, but it's more of the blue base. Okay, so we've got, see how this one's more yellow base, this one's more blue base. So just be aware when you're putting colors together, you're always looking to think, okay, where does this lend itself? Does, you know, is it more blue, is it more yellow? Because that will help you choose what colors to put with it. There are no hard and fast rules though. Don't ever think you can't do this or you can't do that. It's a bit like, you know, people say you should put things on in threes. Well, yeah, okay, 3 does look good from a design point of view, and you'll hear me say that sometimes. But that doesn't mean to say you can't use things in 2s or 4s or another number that you so choose. It's totally up to you. You will find too the accents, the gold looks good with either of these colorways, whether it's the yellow or the blue base. It's really, really interesting paper. Don't you think it's interesting? I love it. Back. Now this is the one, this is possibly one of my most favorite ones. One of my most favorite ones in this pack. It's got the gold going through. I cut it in half, and that's where this one came from, this card here. Okay. All right, and then the last one. This beautiful, beautiful paper. It is what we call a specialty paper. And let me tell you a little secret about specialty paper. I actually tell my team of demonstrators, that if they are wanting to actually, I mean, a large part of my team are just people who are what we call hobby demonstrators. So they are wanting to get the discount. That's why they joined. That's what they want. However, there are some who want to maybe run classes or sell to friends or something like that. And those girls, I tell them that if they're going to buy papers, check out the specialty papers first, because specialty papers are special. Literally, they have something about them that very often can't be seen in a catalogue. So, like, you can see this paper, it's very, very beautiful and we really love it, but it certainly looks different looking at it in the reel than it does looking at it in the catalogue. And the other thing is, things like little gold flecks and things like that, or foiling or embossing, or various things that are in some of your papers can't be seen in the catalogue. So if it says specialty, it's worth getting, because you need to check it out. Now, if you're a customer, same thing. Have a look at the specialty papers. Make sure if you haven't seen them, get your demonstrator to show them to you, because there's something really special about them that makes them amazing. Sometimes they have flocking, sometimes they have foil, sometimes they have embossing. So there's other things that can happen with specialty papers that you may not have noticed in the catalogue. And that's why I think they're always worth a look. So this is a specialty paper. The normal papers, the ones without foil or so forth, what I would call standard designer series papers, those are $20 a pack for the most part, unless otherwise stated. But the specialties are usually $26. Okay, so you're paying an extra $6 for something really, really pretty. So let me pop these back in their pack. Slide them in. The other thing to know when you buy a DSP is have a little look here on the back, and it will tell you all the colours that are in it. So you can see them in the catalogue on the main suite page, but you can also see them on the back of the pack. So sometimes you might not have your catalogue handy, but you've got your packet, so you'll be able to find all the colours that you would need in inks and cardstock right there on the back. Okay, so shall we make something? Let's do that. I'm going to go really, really simple to start with, but we'll just see how we go. I'm going to start with a piece. I've got a piece of Whisper White. Sorry, not Whisper White. We don't call it that anymore because that's not what it's called. It's called Basic White now. It's actually, for anyone who hasn't heard the story, the Whisper White factory actually went out of business during COVID, which is very, very sad. So now it's been replaced with a new product, which is pretty much the same. I've been really happy with it. I was worried at first, but I've been really happy with the new Basic White. So this is Basic White thick, and I like this. I prefer this for my card bases if I'm using white. I find the normal Basic White, not the thick, but the normal one, I find it a little bit too flimsy for my card bases. Most color cardstocks are okay, but the white and the vanilla are they're more compressed. They're not actually a lighter weight paper, but they're more compressed, so therefore they don't have the sturdiness of the thicker ones. So I hope that makes sense. Hey Sharon, nice to see you there. How's everything for you? Alright, so I'm actually going to start with something really, really simple. We'll go super simple. I'm actually going to start with, I've got a piece of, this is a piece I pre-cut, although I still need to cut it to size properly. And it's got, to me, it's got the Just Jade, but it's also got the darker colours. So there's a little bit of Evening Evergreen and there's a bit of shaded spruce in there. So what we'll do is we'll bring in our shaded spruce. And I realised I forgot to wear my my AirPods tonight, which is a shame because I think I get better sound when I use them. So my apologies if the sound isn't what it should be. Can everyone hear me okay? Ooh, I just hit my lamp. Made a nice dinging sound. Sorry about that. Alright, so I'm cutting this at 14.3 centimetres by 10, which is a card front size. So that's the perfect size to go on our card bases, because of course our card bases are half a sheet of A4 folded in half, and then this is going to be the perfect size for this. So let's have a look at this one. This one should be 9.5. It is, and this needs to be just, the length needs to be cut down a little bit. So I'm going to make this 13.8. Once you've been doing this for a while, you get used to standard sizes. I'm not even using any of the foil pieces. I mean, I love this piece, but I already did a card with that. So let's just pop this on. So we're going super, super simple. It's even sad to cover up the beautiful gold on the back. Don't be alarmed though. I am waiting another pack of paper because I wanted more because it's so beautiful. Right, so this will end up right here. And as always, I am making this up as I go along, but I had a few pieces left over from a class and I thought I'd add them here. So because this piece here is pretty full on, I mean, it's beautiful, but I'm actually going to put a piece of Just Jade, which is one of the colours in the paper, over the top, and then we're going to play around with some other bits and pieces on top of here. So I'll set this aside for a minute. I'm deciding, I think, okay, so one of the things in the die set is this beautiful shape, which is, I just think it's stunning. I will show you all of these. So we have this one already, all right. I don't know if you'd noticed, but I've actually got a piece in there I haven't actually released yet. And then this piece here, I'm deciding what colour I would like to do. And then, so all these pieces go in here like this, all right. So how many pieces do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I always check my front to make sure I've got them right. Yep, 8 pieces in the set, so they're all here, which is awesome. And I've already, like I said to you a moment ago, I've already cut this piece. So I'm actually not thinking of putting this on this card, but, you know, I might. But just in case I decide to, let me release this. So I've actually used, for this piece of gold, I've used some of our new, it's, oh, what's it called? Gold. It's a specialty paper. It's 6x6. So let me just show you in the catalogue what it's called officially. It's rose gold, and here it is, number 7 down here. Gold and rose gold 6x6 metallic specialty paper. So it's like glitter paper, but it has a different feel to it. It doesn't feel like, you know how glitter paper very often feels a bit sandpapery. This is really smooth, and it's kind of interesting. It'll be hard for me to show it to you. I'll just, I might bring the pack over so you can see it, although I think I've used up all the gold pieces of this pack. I have to buy some more. But it's rather lovely. And the rose gold, I haven't used the rose gold yet, but that's on my next on my agenda because I think it's really, really pretty. And in a second I'm going to, if I have, I thought tonight, because there's a few of these that need to be poked out. And I thought whilst I was poking, I would tell a couple of stories tonight. So might be some story time coming. I even remember to go onto airplane mode tonight so no one can call me. Remember last week, I think it was my YouTube last Sunday night, my husband called me halfway through because he totally forgot that I was doing my live, and then the stream stopped. It stopped everything and we had to start, well, not start over, but I had to do a second one and continue on. So that was a bit painful. All right. So this is a really beautiful die, I think you'll see. And can you see, so it almost looks like antique gold, this. It's not like the shiny foil that we've had in the past, and it's not really glittery either, even though it does have a shimmer to it. Really interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, let's put this back in. And if you're wondering about these, I have been using these ad nauseum, these particular dies. I did a class, a big class on Wednesday, and I do them once a month, and we usually have about 10 to a dozen people, usually, sometimes more, and I do 6 cards with them over the course of a day. And I think I use these on all but one card. I think I just went nuts with these. They're so nice. I like that every rectangle has a different design on the scallop. So, you know, some have got perforations. This one's got like little cutouts. This one's got little dots. I love them, and I'm using them all the time. I've also done some edges with these, with the little scallop edge. Love it. And then these two cut out a matching stamp set called Colour and Contour, which is they're really pretty as well. But these dies, I'm using them a lot. And I guess because I am missing my stitch shapes, I've been looking for other shapes that lend themselves really, really well to lots and lots of different types of projects, and these definitely fit that bill. So we've got our stitched rectangles. We've actually got a few that are like this. We've got stitched rectangles which don't have the scallop. They've just got a stitching, and those are great. Then we've got Stitched So Sweetly dies, which have a bunch of rectangles with a smaller scallop, but they don't go as big as these ones. They are smaller rectangles, and then there's some other shapes in there as well. So this shape here, for example, the one I had a moment ago, this one, that's from the Stitched So Sweetly dies, and you can see the stitching around the edge there. So, okay, anyway, I think that's a really nice idea. So I just, a moment ago, cut a shape, and I think I've dropped it on the floor. I mean, what would a Friday night be without me dropping stuff on the floor, guys? I mean, that's just what we do, right? No, it doesn't seem to be on the, here it is, found it. All right, so this one's got a bit of pushing out to do as well, but I do have my trusty brush. So let's grab that. Now there's a couple of ways that you can do, I mean they do come, when you get the brush it comes with a spongy thing that you can pop this on to get rid of some of the bits and pieces. I usually turn it over and you can see how much easier this is than individually going along and pushing out all the bits, right? This brush tip is actually a separate purchase to the Take Your Pick tool. So the Take Your Pick tool comes, for anyone who hasn't seen this, it has a, where is it? Where's my little end? I just popped it in my, it's not where I thought it was, but it has like a putty picker-upper on this end, but you can unscrew it and purchase the die brush and then screw that in instead. And I actually find I use this more than I use the putty tool, so I tend to only put the putty tool on when I need it and I leave the brush in the rest of the time because I'm always using the brush. So this is much, 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 much quicker than trying to individually poke out all your bits. Cool, right? You don't want to go too hard because you don't want to damage your die. And if there may still be a few bits at the very end that we need to poke out, but so many less than there would have been if we hadn't done this. Alright, so I've got a few pieces still here, so I can use this end. Now this end has the pokey tool. It also has a flat attachment that is great for picking up things, like a little, like almost like those little, does anyone remember those chislets? Yeah. Ah, nice to see you there. Yes, I agree, the AirPods do that. I mean, what's really handy is if I need to reach behind the table and pick something up, Michelle, at least there's no loss of sound because it picks up my microphone no matter where I'm moving around to, which in my case, because I'm always leaving things on the table behind me or losing stuff on the floor, is kind of handy. And that's kind of why I wanted them, so that you guys wouldn't lose me when I was floating around my craft room looking for something or, you know, trying to retrieve something. So, yeah, that's, and plus my husband bought them for me for Mother's Day and I thought I probably really should use them. Ha. So instead of being in Maui tonight, guys, I am here with you. And hey, that's not so bad, really. I mean, it's not Maui, but it's pretty nice to be here. It was raining like crazy. It was really funny today. I was, I don't know if anyone else can relate, but while I was on my virtual Hawaii party phone call, I was looking out the window. It was pouring rain. I was sitting in front of the heater, drinking my little smoothie with an umbrella and with my frangipani in my hair. I thought this is pretty ironic. About as far away from Hawaii as we could get. There we go. That's all done. I'm going to empty that onto the floor because that's what vacuum cleaners are for, right? And that can wait till tomorrow. So now I get to decide, all right? I've got to make a decision. If I'm going to use this, and I think I want to, am I going to position this over the top, or an alternate idea would be I could sponge over the top and leave behind the image on here. What do you guys think? Which way shall we go? Shall we do the white image, or shall I sponge over the top and leave behind? And I'll be doing that in green for anyone who's wondering. So as always with my cards, I'm going to put it out to you guys to decide. Do we want to use the actual die, or do we want to use, I know which one I think I'd rather. So you think you'd like to have the white piece, Michelle? We're going to leave this, we're not going to sponge? Or it sounds like, okay, so the white die over the top of the Just Jade. All right, that's what we're going to do because you guys told me so, right? All right, and I'm going to put this kind of, so it's going to go a little bit over the edge. Okay, so the best thing I think for sticking a die like this is Tombow. And my Tombow is right here. I've turned it over to the back, and then when I squeeze the Tombow through, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a tiny, tiny bit here and there. You don't need very much for a die like these. For these thin kind of dies, I'm just going to add a little bit And it's good to have it on sort of some of the outside bits and the bits that are sticking out, because that way they don't flap around. And it doesn't even matter if you don't have a lot in the middle. We want them on those outside bits. And I kind of use my Tombow like fine tip glue, which would also be another alternative. You can use fine tip glue. But I find personally that I like the Tombow, this one. It's an inexpensive glue, but it also dries really quickly. Now that can be bad if you change your mind, but it's good because you get a quicker result if you're in a hurry. So, and I usually am. I'm usually in a hurry. I always seem to have something else, somewhere else I need to be, something else I need to do. All right, that's going to be enough. So I'm thinking, the pressure. Yeah. So I'm going to have this so it goes a little bit over the edge. I want my, and then I just kind of use the flat of my hand to push it down. Just like that. It's rather nice, isn't it? All right, so this is how this is looking. Now, because we've got a couple of choices here, I was thinking of going landscape. We could go portrait. I could put a greeting here, or we can go landscape, and then I'll be putting a greeting on a label here, because I've not got, I mean, I could do a small greeting. I mean, I've got a best wishes that would fit there, or the hello would fit there if I go landscape. If I wanted to use the word thanks or happy birthday, I would put them on a piece over the top, which actually might look really nice. That's if I go landscape. So we've got to decide, do we want to go with landscape with a label or a sentiment? We can make our minds up about that. Or do we want to go with portrait and just stamp straight on? What do people think? I could also add, if I was going portrait, I could add a little label and have it straight across the top as well. So landscape, landscape, landscape. More pressure. I know. I like to give you guys pressure, you know, and you need to keep your minds active. We can't have you sitting there and going to sleep. So, all right. So we're going landscape because that's what we said. So what I usually do is, for anyone who hasn't watched my videos before, I usually ask what we should do, and the first one to answer is usually the one we go with, unless there's a groundswell of dissension. But other than that, I think that works well. So we're going landscape, and so now I need to decide what I'm going to do about. I've got a piece of, I've got something with writing here on one side. Am I finished with that? Yeah. And I'm going to use the other side. And I'm going to use, I'm thinking, now we get to say, what do we want? Do we want a big greeting, like thanks? Because that would look very nice. Do we want a small greeting, like happy birthday, and have that on a label going across? Or we have the hello and the best wishes. Now, both of those will fit on the green if I don't want to do a separate label. But if I do a separate label, and I'm actually thinking I won't use white. I'm thinking I'm going to use a different colour. I'm thinking I'm going to go with a darker green. What's everyone saying? Thanks or best wishes? So, yeah, so you're saying this one or this one. Is that because you like the font? Did you notice that there are 4 different fonts in this set? So we have completely different fonts for each sentiment, which I think is nice. A big greeting. Okay, so we're going to go with the big one. All right. I'm going to go with the shaded spruce, and I think I'm going to emboss it in gold. How does that sound? What do people think of that idea? All right. So I am going to, how big is this? Okay, I'm going to actually have, for thanks, I'm going to need a fairly wide piece. So let me see if this is going to be too wide. All right, so if I had it here, it's going to cover up a little bit of our greeting, sorry, of our motif. but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can still see enough to see what it is. So that's probably where it would go. And of course I would either I'd probably flag the ends. We have a punch for that, which is one of my favorite punches. This is the Pica punch. White embossing? Oh yes, we could do white. White or gold, either would look good, and that's going to be the thing. Beryl, it's a good suggestion. Shall we do the white? Okay, let's do it. All right, that just means I have to get the white embossing powder out. Don't worry, it's right behind me. Just making sure I have my Versamark. Yes, it's right here as well. I used it just this morning. Alright, so I'm pretty sure that an inch is going to be the right size. Yes, it is. So I'm going to use my Versamark straight on here. And I'm going to do it in the middle because then I can decide how big I want it to be. Sorry if you had to look at the back of my head then. And it just looks like this. You probably can't see it very much, but that's okay. And then I'm going to use my white embossing powder. So I've got my white here. I've got a little container. I keep these in these containers all the time. I just have them sitting in the drawer ready to use. And Chinese takeaway containers are good for this sort of thing as well. I'm just going to flick over the back to get rid of any excess powder. I've got a bit of extra there, so that's where I bring in a little paintbrush. And we're going to get rid of extra bits. I've got a couple of different size paintbrushes. This one's a bit wider, so I don't like to get too close to my words with this one. And then I've got another one, a littler guy. Looking pretty good. Right. Just worried that I put my slightly sticky fingers from the Tombow on that. Hopefully not. The good thing about using a little container like this is that once you've used it, you can then just pop that back into the little tub and it's right to go again. Alright, so now I get to bring in my heat tool, and this is another reason not to cut your piece of paper too short, because you don't want to get your fingers in the way of your heat tool. So I have talked about heat tools a little bit lately. Find yourself, if you don't have one, you don't have to have a heat tool, there are alternatives, but boy, does a heat tool make things easier. Michelle, did you end up buying a heat tool? I think you did, didn't you? But that you used to, I know people have used toasters, all sorts of other things. You can't use a hairdryer because it will spread the paper. It's too powerful. It will spread the powder everywhere. A paint stripper is too hot. But yeah, I've seen people do all sorts of things. Definitely a heat tool is a good investment if you're going to be doing a lot of embossing. They're fantastic. And this one has 2 speeds. So that's the low speed and then the high speed. You know that it's ready when it changes, so it becomes more white. I hope you can start to see this. And it goes hard and shiny. I usually go a little bit over it again. Once after I've seen it change, I then set it by continuing just that little bit more. All right, let's see how this is looking. Pretty nice. I think it's good. All right, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my trimmer just to make this a tiny bit shorter. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to see how long this is. We've got a concave, this one, and a convex. I think that's the right way around. I always get those two confused. A bit like stalactites and stalagmites. It took me ages to work out which one was which. But these are, I believe the concave is like, to me, like a cave, and the convex is the other one. If someone could confirm, that would be great. You guys probably know much more about that than I do. Now these are an inch wide, so it's going to fit in the 1 inch channel, which means I just pop that all the way in as far as it will go, push it to the end, then I turn it over and make sure that it is actually in there, and I can see the green bit of cardstock in the back there. I'm going to take that piece off. I think that's too long. I'm going to make it a little shorter. So I could have cut it shorter to start with, or I could keep going and do it again until it's going to take a bit more off each time. So I'll see if that's all right. It might need one more. And then, yeah, I think it will need another one. Let's try again. Double check at the back. There it is. You know what? It's really funny. I'm going to make it too short in a minute. I think this is okay. All right. Like this. Now we could do one at the other end as well, and I think I will, but to make it easier I'm just going to chop a little bit off so I haven't got to do that as many times. I'm going to chop that off here and pop that back in. So if you do not have this paper, seriously, consider adding it to your next order. And if you don't know how to order, there is a big blue shop now button right on this page. That takes you to my online store, and that's how you go about getting all sorts of beautiful things sent straight to your door. All you need is a credit card, and out they come. There we go, just like that. What do we think? Are we liking this? Yeah, I know. You resisted for so long, Michelle. I was, you know, very brave. You did really well there, but it was time, wasn't it? Definitely time to get an embossing machine. I was going to say no. I mean a heat tool. I just realised that the ones I've got handy are minis. Hang on, I'll grab a pack of big ones, big dimensionals. I made a card today that was a tropical flavored card for our virtual party today, and this is the card I made. I felt it was a little bit kind of Hawaii. I wanted to sort of do like a sunset effect here. I don't actually like the card, but I will tell you that I chose the black background because that matched my mood about not being in Maui. So that was the reason for that. I thought, no, that's appropriate. I'll go with black to show that I'm not happy about not being there. Virtual party was fun, I have to say. It's not the same, but it was fun. Oh, this bit got stuck on there. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to take these off so that our dimensionals are sticky. And then I'm going to pop this right here in the middle, or as close to the middle as I can get it. And I'm wondering, does it need anything else? Do we need, I'm going to do dimensionals behind this as well. Do we need a ribbon? Do we need some bling? We might need bling. I mean, usually the answer is yes when it comes to bling. There we go, just like that. That's coming together nicely, girls. Good job. Thank you for all your help and advice. So if you don't have the Expressions in Ink DSP, definitely think about grabbing it. Something I didn't say before, we have, if you love the whole lot, the stamps and the dies and everything, you can actually buy all of it for a discount price, which is good to know. It's $130.75 for the stamps, the dies, the paper, and the ephemera pack with all the little gold bits and pieces. Everything that that is the whole suite. So if you can't choose whether or not you want just the paper or just the dies, and you can't make up your mind, you could look at getting the whole thing. And like I said before, you've got to just hit that shop now button if you'd like to purchase that. So there we go. What do we think? I'm thinking some Wink Stella might be nice on this, and like I said before, some bling. We do have the In Color Jewels. They would be nice on here. They're nice and shiny. I'll get you guys to white pearls would be nice too. Yes, we always need bling. That is true. Gold thread would be lovely. I'm looking back through all the comments. I'm sorry, I missed a few there. Okay. So we have the blingy ones here, which are in the In Colors, and these Evening Evergreen would look really, really nice on that, I think. Or the Soft Succulent, which is the lighter green. That would look nice too. And then we also have, this is all I've got left of my Genial Gems. These have got like little gold, I don't know if you can see them. They've got like little gold glitter inside them. They're very, very pretty. They would look really nice on here as well. And we've got some bigger ones and some smaller ones. So, first person to answer, shall we go with some In Color bling, or shall we go with some Genial Gems? Which ones shall we do? Waiting. Any answers yet? Nobody? Maybe it doesn't matter. But I'm sure someone will have an opinion, because people always do, right? People like to. You would like the In Color Gems, and we're going with Soft Succulent. Good choice. All right, so I have a couple of larger ones. So let me decide where I want to put them. I'm thinking maybe one here, and one here, and then a little guy up the top here, maybe. There we go, just like that. What do we think? Is that a good positioning for them? Yeah, they're so succulent. It looks really, really nice with this, doesn't it? I noticed that I've got one little circle here that didn't quite push out. I'll just hide it, shove it in behind there. There we go. No one will ever know. Oh, there we go. All right. So this is actually not the card I thought I was going to make at all tonight. I love it when I end up with something different. I'm going to glue that little bit down. I did tell you I was going to tell you a story, but I'm going to do that while I poke out my my gold gems, and sorry, my gold leaves, and I'm going to do that over on my VIP group. So if you're in Australia and you're a customer of mine or a team member, or you'd like to be a customer of mine, you're very welcome to join us over in the VIP group, which is where my customers like to hang out. So I hope that you enjoyed making this card with me tonight. Don't forget, everything you saw me use is able to be purchased. So if there's something that you would like, just hit the blue shop now button, and I would love for you to contact me if you have, if you aren't able to shop online, but there's something you wanted to see or something that I can do for you, then please let me know. We do have a fantastic joining special at the moment for anyone who's interested in that. And the reason that that's so cool is because you get a whole lot of extra stuff in your kit right now. Now, if my maths is right, I think it's $114 extra stuff. So it costs $169, but you get 200 and, oh, is it 85? I've got to double check. I really should know. I think it's $283 worth of extra products that you get for only $169, and you can pick whatever you like. Some people do it just for the discount. Some people stick around for a while to get what they want to get from Stampin'Up and be part of the community and the creativity. And I wouldn't be doing my job properly if I didn't tell you about that and how you can get the very most value from being involved with Stampin'Up too. So have a great night, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. I'm expecting my dad and his wife along tomorrow, so that means we've got to spend probably a lot of tomorrow cleaning up the spare room, because you know how that is. That's the room that everything goes, and that's where I've accumulated some stuff, so I need to give that a bit of a clean out so there's somewhere for them to sleep. All right, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the card. Thank you very much, and I'm really so grateful for you guys helping me choose what to use, and I love that we always end up with something really lovely. So you guys are very clever. Thank you so much for sharing your talent with me. Have a great night, great weekend. See you soon, guys. I'll be over on the VIP group for anyone who's there in about 15 minutes. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.